They bought it as a space to build a house for themselves. But then when they thought about it later, they said, why don't we look at creating a place where people can come and enjoy these views and also relax in South Canara for a couple of days. So this beach out here is a very quiet beach. The only people who use it are the locals, not crowded at all like Malpe beach. And that's the St. Mary's Island in the distance out there.
ನಮ್ಮ ನೇಬರ್ ಅವರದ್ದು ಫ್ಯಾಮಿಲಿಯವರು ನಮಗೆ ಮನೆಗೆ ಹೇಗೆ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೋ ಅದೇ ಥರ ನಮಗೆ ಸಹ ಇಲ್ಲಿಗೆ ಮಾಡಿಕೊಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ.
So that's the philosophy here, and we have quite a spread here. I can see Kane, perhaps the biggest specimen of the Kane that I've seen in recent time. I've got an anjal, I've got the bondas, which is the squid, sukka, and there is also an interesting local dish called the uppu koli, made with a country chicken.
ಇದು ಟಾಡಿ.
Toddy.
ಫ್ರೆಶ್.
Saku. Oh, you got to get past its fermented aroma though. There's something to be said about the roar of the sea. It's a sort that just calms you. Hi folks, welcome to a beautiful morning here in South Canara. I had a couple of days of work here in Udupi, and so this time around I thought I'd not stay at a hotel but stay at a place that was slightly different. So I asked my friends at Visit Udupi, a tour company that specializes in organizing holidays, vacations, etc. in the area, to suggest something different, and this is what they came up with. So I'm at this place called Island Bayview Inn in Thottam near Malpe, which is roughly about 20 kilometers from Udupi, and I'm staying here in this beautiful, quaint, luxury inn with a sweeping view of the ocean. The reason why it's called Island Bayview Inn is because it's got a view of St. Mary's Island right there. So there are boats that you can take to the island, but I'm not looking to do any of that. In addition to the work that I had in Udupi, I always like to sit back and relax a bit, and that's what I intend to do at this property. So this isn't a typical hotel. There are only 10 rooms out here, and speaking of the rooms, let me give you a quick tour of my room. Each one of the 10 rooms here has view of the sea. So you can sit there, chill out. There's this nice sofa here. A very comfortable double bed. I had a great night's rest yesterday after my drive from Bengaluru. Also a cozy table here where you can sit, catch up on some reading, perhaps some work. There's some space there for you to keep your luggage and things like that. Television. You've got all the amenities that you need. Tea, coffee, etc. Large wardrobe space. And the folks here upgraded me to a suite, so the suite comes with an extra living space as well, and a well-appointed bathroom with the essentials. So there are 3 rooms on each floor, and it's a very cozy sort of a property. Like I said, it's only 10 rooms. There's the lift, but I prefer to get my steps. Every floor here, or every room here, I'm told has a different theme, a different decor. Good morning. How are you doing? Well, that's Mrs. Junita, who's our host out here. So that's the reception out here. Well, the Jimny is parked right there. After a great drive yesterday from Bengaluru. So in fact, I'm planning to put up a drive vlog from Bengaluru to Mangaluru via Shiradi Ghat now as to what the scene is like now. So the property sits in Thottam village. So you're in the middle of the village, and that is what the place looks like. Very unassuming, and I guess in a manner also fits into the neighborhood quite well. This looks quite nice in the night. It was all lit up when I came yesterday. I don't know if you can see the lights hanging from there. Well, if you like to swim, you've got the pool. They also put deck chairs out there, so you can just sit there, relax and sunbathe the whole day. And if you prefer some shade, well, they also have this lookout nook here. That's the property. I'm in a room on the 2nd floor in the corner. So every room out here has views of the sea. There's a dining area there. So the reason why it's called an inn is because it's not like a typical hotel with room service, restaurants and a whole bunch of facilities, etc. What the family behind the place, very quiet, unassuming folks, their whole idea was to provide a space where people can just come and relax with great views of the sea. I was told that originally when the family picked up this piece of land way back, they bought it as a space to build a house for themselves. But then when they thought about it later, they said, why don't we look at creating not a hotel, but a place where people can come and enjoy these views and also relax in South Canara for a couple of days. And that's how what was originally designed to be a family home transformed into Island Bayview Inn. Fortunately for us. Well, you can also swing as well with views of the sea. From the beach, the property looks almost hidden. I like the manner in which the property is not too big, quite unassuming in the manner in which it sits here. I'm not wearing my sunglasses, so I'm squinting, pardon me. So this morning I woke up early. I was on my balcony just taking in the sea and the sound. There's something so therapeutic about it, right? When you listen to the sea. And I saw some fishermen who were just returning back either from an early morning or a night fishing expedition. So this beach out here is a very quiet beach. The only people who use it are the locals, not crowded at all like Malpe beach. And that's the St. Mary's Island in the distance out there. I think this part of Karnataka has some very tranquil and very unexplored for the most part beaches. So this property is located deep in the village. So you will drive through the village roads before getting here. But the plus side is that once you come here, you're just by yourself. And if you want to get back to the hustle and bustle of the world outside, well, Udupi is only a 20-minute drive away. You can just sit here and gaze into the sea all day. The boss would have liked this. Unfortunately, she's not with me on this trip because there's some other work that she had to take care of in Bengaluru, and so I'm doing this solo. She's a big lover of swings. There's a word in Tamil that she refers to the swing as. I don't know what it's called. When my daughter was young, she too would love to swing, and I think she would call it the vuyale or something like that. Please correct me in the comments if what I'm saying is wrong. Oh, this is nice. I don't remember the last time I was on a swing. So on either side of the properties, you've got the traditional homes of the fishing community that lives around here. I think it's nice to have spaces like these that coexist with their surroundings, right? Imagine if you, in the midst of all this, if you have a place that's about 100 rooms, it would completely dominate, overpower the local landscape, so to speak. I mean, this is a manner of existing harmoniously within your neighborhood, right? Because even the folks who work here come from the villages, so they also have a place where they can work and earn their livelihood. And for people like us, well, it gives us an opportunity to check out the local scene here in Thottam in a relaxed, comfortable environment. Let's check out the view from up here. Nice. So this is like a local katte that you find outside houses in this region. This is where families would converge, neighbors would gather, and I guess discuss all sorts of things, including the local gossip in the village. So are they all from the area?
Yes.
From Thottam?
Yeah.
Oh, nice. So you can walk to work.
Yeah.
Nice. Fantastic. So ಏನಿದೆ ಬ್ರೇಕ್ಫಾಸ್ಟಿಗೆ ಇವತ್ತು?
ಇವತ್ತು ಇಡ್ಲಿ ನೀರು ದೋಸೆ ಚಿಕನ್ ಸುಕ್ಕ
ಇಡ್ಲಿ ನೀರು ದೋಸೆ ಚಿಕನ್ ಸುಕ್ಕ ಇಡ್ಲಿ ವಡೆ ಶೀರಾ ಸಾಂಬಾರ ಅದು
ಸಾಂಬಾರ್
ಓ ನೀರು ದೋಸೆ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಚಿಕನ್ ಸುಕ್ಕ ಸೊ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಕಾನ್ಸೆಪ್ಟ್ ಅಂದರೆ ಯು ಕಮ್ ಹಿಯರ್ ಸ್ಟೇ ಹಿಯರ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಯು ಪ್ರೊವೈಡ್ ಬ್ರೇಕ್ಫಾಸ್ಟ್ ದ ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಡೇ ದ್ಯಾಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಇನ್ಕ್ಲೂಡೆಡ್ and then if you want meals, if you want to eat seafood etc., you organize for that separately.
Yes, we organize for that.
Wonderful. So also what's interesting about the breakfast here is that it's homemade because it's made by the folks in one of the homes out here that they have tied up with. Allah? So every morning homemade breakfast.
Yes.
So veg, non-veg erad kuda irutte. Wonderful. In fact, last night I told Mr. Prashant, who's her husband, he asked me, what would you like to eat for dinner? And I said, well, do you provide dinner? He says, yeah, we organize dinner for people. And so I said, just give me a plain rice and one fish curry. But then when I came here, the fish curry was there, of course, a nice kane fish curry. But along with the fish curry, there was also anjal fry. Then there was a very nice pomfret in a green masala that I really enjoyed. And then there was some etti, some prawns as well. So just because it's about bed and breakfast doesn't mean that they don't provide meals as well. So if you want a meal, all that you have to do is tell them and they will provide that for you. For now, I'm looking forward to some breakfast. After that, property tour. Well, we have a sumptuous breakfast spread here. Boiled eggs if you like some. There's some fruit, watermelon, papaya. Thank you. Some watermelon juice as well. Nice. Without any sugar. Very nice. Nice and sweet. Very sweet and chilled. Get one of that idli. Nice and solid. Get some sambar as well. I'm certainly tasting the flavor of the masala that goes into the sambar. The toasted coriander, cumin. It's not your typical hotel style sambar which is thick and rich. Even the consistency, the texture of the sambar. The idli is a sort that feels quite hefty. Bit of jaggery that I'm tasting in the sambar. Nice Kai chutney. This is a great partnership with the locals, right? So they've identified some homes in the village that do great food, and that's what they supply to you for breakfast. They also have restaurants that I've tied up with, and I guess for the more substantial meals, you can order from them too. But there are also homes here that cook up traditional meals to be supplied to you. So whether it's vegetarian or whether it is some meen uta that you want to taste. Nice. What I want to get to is that chicken sukka with that neer dosai. So this again comes from a home in the village. I want to get some of that coconut and that masala. And one neer dosai. That's a combination to have. Neer dosai and chicken sukka. Oh, I love that. Nice roasted coconut. I'm also tasting some fennel in there, not sure. That certainly is a chicken sukka that hits the spot. This is the true chicken sukka, the South Canara chicken sukka. With the roasted coconut, some spices, a little heat that comes from chili. And it's always chicken on the bone because that's where the flavors are. This is very good. So although I'll be a little busy with my work here in Udupi, I've also organized for a meal here, for a lunch here on one of the days where we're going to taste some of the traditional fare. And that's also something that you'll see a little later in this vlog. I like the manner in which the flavors of the spices, the masala is infused into that coconut. Just returned from a long day in Udupi and I'm back here in the cozy comfort of my room on the balcony overlooking the sea. So this evening I thought I'd do my dinner on the balcony. You know, when you're back in South Canara, you feel like doing the ganji. And when you do the ganji, you have to do the etti chutney. And so that's what I asked for. But then the folks here said, you should also try this other chutney of this, with this tiny little fish. That's also very popular here. So they've added that to the mix. And to that, I also have some marwai sukka. And what's nice here is that this marwai, actually I think it's not marwai, it's bigger than that. I think these are the mussels. The pachile as they call it here. And then I also have the bolingir. I think life at this point can get better in Thottam. I think that ganji, which is made with a boiled rice, there's also a bit of tuppa in that, a bit of ghee. Draw some of the chutney into that ganji. That very sharp, pungent flavor of the eddy chutney. You got to develop a taste for it, develop a palate for it. But those who love it know what I'm talking about. The fish certainly gives you a little more to bite on, to chew on. Actually speaking, this is all that you need. The ganji, the chutney and also the etti chutney. But these, the pachile sukka or the mussel sukka is a nice extra welcome bonus. I'm loving the flavor of that sukka masala. In the center it is nice and soft, but around the edges it will always be a bit chewy. But then that works well because within that chewiness you're also tasting the flavor punch of that sukka masala over and over and over again. This will also be the sort that will do well with my ganji. The ganji is a nice happy canvas to assimilate and invite most flavors, including that sukka masala. So good. Next for the bolingir. Nice tawa fry. Plenty of curry leaf too that I'm tasting in that. The flavor of the curry leaf. That masala has a nice sour, spicy sort of a punch. The sort that really hits you with its spice. This one is a little moist. I like the bolingir a little more crispier, a little more brittle for want of a better word. But I guess also here, because it has to travel from the eatery. So the meal that I had in the morning was from a home, and I think this has been sourced from one of their partner restaurants out here. So what the family has done is they have sourced out the best eateries in the area which do some great food. Because they are local, because they know the place, they make sure that even as a customer, when you are ordering, you're ordering from a place that has been tried, tested and vetted. And for some more of that pachile. The slightly briny, wet, voluptuous bite of that mussel. You know, the feeling that I have here is like I own an apartment in this cozy nook of Malpe, Thottam beach, overlooking the sea. I've returned home from a busy day and I'm savoring a nice uta which feels rather home cooked in the warm comfort of my own home. I'm actually pleasantly surprised by the depth of food that I'm tasting here. The local flavors that you find in homes, the flavors that you find in the local restaurants, that's very hard for a typical chef or a restaurant to recreate. But out here they've tied up with all of them and that's what they bring to you. And I think it's also a great way for a business to integrate the local community into what they're doing. On that note, a full morsel of the ganji, the chutney and some pachile sukka, the mussel sukka. So good. The water is all the way up to the beach today. I think it's high tide and you can see all the boats there lined up. Perhaps the fishermen are sensing there's plenty of fish to be found today. I don't know if it has something to do with the water levels, but the water is all the way up. And what's also nice today is that you can see the St. Mary's Island completely, very clearly. Yesterday when I saw it, it was still shrouded in a bit of a mist. But today you can see it as clear as day. I'm told this is also the shortest view site of the island, and this, I'm not very sure of the history, but apparently it emerged out of a volcanic eruption thousands of years ago, and that's what resulted in the St. Mary's Island. So there are excursions, there are boats that go to the island. It's also rained a bit in the morning, so it's quite pleasant. To me, this is one of the best places to take a break. This is my second morning here, and the last couple of days, I don't know, for some reason I've been sleeping so well. So this morning I made it a point to set my alarm a little earlier than usual so I could come here and enjoy a bit of a walk. Normally when I'm at home, I sleep for roughly around 6 hours or so. But I don't know, for some reason here, whether it's the environment or, you know, the room or the bed, I've been sleeping for about 7 or 8 hours, and I've been finding it so difficult to wake up. But I guess it's nice to every once in a while listen to your body and just do what it wants and just give it the rest that it needs. That view of the island is quite something, because typically when you're looking out into the ocean, you're just seeing an expanse of water for the most part, right? But out here there's this island that is just jutted out from the sea, and it's barely surface to the level where you can see a bit of the beach there, and then you see the formation of the rocks, and you see the palms in the center sticking out like twigs. I've never been to St. Mary's Island because I'm quite apprehensive of smaller boats, but many people do the trek there, and it's like a day outing or something like that. So there's nothing on the island, nobody lives there, but you just visit there and then you... So if you are into islands, well, this is a great place to catch a glimpse of the island up close. So further down there are also activities like surfing, etc. that one can participate in. I see a whole bunch of people standing out there with their surfboards. Namaskara. ಚಿಲ್ಮಿ ದಡ್ಡೆ ಚಿಲ್ಮಿ ಅಂದರೆ ಏನು
ಹಲಸಿನ ಎಲೆ ಜೂಲಿ ಥರ ಮಾಡುದು
ಸೊ ಅದು ಶೇಪಿಗೆ ಫ್ಯಾಂಟಾಸ್ಟಿಕ್ ಥ್ಯಾಂಕ್ ಯು I thought I wouldn't do breakfast, but I couldn't resist getting one of these hot bisi chilmi addes. So that is the jackfruit ele, that is the rice paste that forms a casing, forms a cone in that ele, and then the inside there, I don't know if you can see that, is that bellakai. Just thought I'd chill a bit by the pool. That leaf is nice and malleable now, softened by the steaming that this chilmi goes through. Oh, I love this. I think even that rice paste, that leaf imparts a lovely fragrance to that rice paste that is encased the bellakai. Oh, this is delicious. The filling inside is moist, crunchy with the coconut, and that sweetness of the bella. And then once you get past that, that's when you taste the character of the jackfruit ele. So good. I'm told they also steam this in a turmeric leaf, but today they didn't have that. And some of the jaggery has not melted completely. So you've got the soft crystals of the jaggery too that you're biting into. This is the life. Got the Arabian Sea in front. You're in South Canada on a relaxed work come break. What more can you ask for?
2 hours later.
Well, that's my lunch feast here, courtesy my host, Mr. Prashant. Thank you very much for inviting us.
Hello.
So Prashant and Junita Salins, they are the owners of this place. It's very soft-spoken people, but their hospitality has been rather special.
ನನ್ನ ಹೆಸರು ರಾಜೇಶ್ ಅಂತೇಳಿ.
ನಾನು ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಸ್ಟಾಫ್ ಇಟ್ಟು ಮಾಡೋದಕ್ಕಿಂತ ಅವರವರ ಮನೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ನಮ್ಮ ನೇಬರ್ ಅವರದ್ದು ಫ್ಯಾಮಿಲಿಯವರು ನಮಗೆ ಮನೆಗೆ ಹೇಗೆ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೋ ಅದೇ ಥರ ನಮಗೆ ಸಹ ಇಲ್ಲಿಗೆ ಮಾಡಿಕೊಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ.
So that's the philosophy here, and we have quite a spread here. I can see Kane, perhaps the biggest specimen of the Kane that I've seen in recent time. I've got an anjal, I've got the bondas, which is the squid sukka, and there is also an interesting local dish called the uppu koli, made with a country chicken. There's a ghee roast masala. There is also the kori roti. There is this vegetable stew, and I think also we will have some appam that will follow shortly. What I really like here is a unique approach to the food, to work with locals in the area and present dishes that are made in homes.
ಇದು ನೀರ ಅಂತ, ಸೊ ಇದು ಹೆಲ್ತಿಗೆ ತುಂಬ ಒಳ್ಳೆಯದು. ಸೊ ಇದು ಟಾಡಿ ಅಲ್ಲ, ನೀರ ಅಂದರೆ ಇದು ಮರದಲ್ಲಿ ಅದು ಒಂದು ಯೂನಿಟನ್ನಿಟ್ಟು ಇಂದು ಮರದಲ್ಲಿ ಮಾಡುತ್ತಿದ್ದು. ಸೊ ಇದು ಸಣ್ಣ ಮಕ್ಕಳಿಂದ ದೊಡ್ಡವರವರೆಗೆ ಯಾರಿಗೂ ಸಹ ಕೊಡ್ಬೋದು.
It smells a bit like ಅದು ಐಸ್ ಆಪಲ್ ಇದು ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಪರಿಮಳ ಇದೆ. Oh, it's as sweet as honey. That's Edward here from Visit Udupi. Yes. And he's been the one who's been helping me with many of my hotel bookings in the area. So if you want anything to do in South Canada, Edward's the man.
I run Visit Udupi tours. We are on X and Instagram. We curate tours for people who are planning to visit coastal Karnataka, and especially focusing more on Udupi. And we try our best to give authentic experience, local experience for guests.
And the last few times I've been in this area, it's been Edward who's been finding me interesting places to stay. Thank you very much, Edward.
Thank you.
Mrs. Junita Salins, thank you very much for your hospitality. Sumar bagede ivattu taste ಮಾಡಕ್ಕೆ. I like the firm fleshiness of the fish. What's nice is that the masala in that fish is penetrated all the way in.
ಸಣ್ಣದು ಸಹ ಇರ್ತದೆ, ಆದರೆ ದೊಡ್ಡದು ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಟೇಸ್ಟ್ ಒಳ್ಳೆ ಇರ್ತದೆ.
ಮಸಾಲೆ ಕೂಡ ಸೂಪರ್ ಇದೆ ಅದು. And that's a sort of flesh that easily peels off the bone. I love the vivid, bright spice of that masala. Next to some of that anjal. I like the manner in which that masala has formed a nice crust on the fish. Anjal super is there. So the kane is a little moist, but the anjal is nice, spicy and kadak. Also the sort that has a nice firm bite. So good.
ಕನ್ಸ್ಟ್ರಕ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡುವ ಮೊದಲು ನಮ್ಮದೊಂದು ಸಣ್ಣ ಮನೆ ಇತ್ತು ಇಲ್ಲಿ, 1 BHK. ಸೊ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಬಂದು ನಾವು ವೀಕೆಂಡಿಗೆ ಬಂದು ಫ್ಯಾಮಿಲಿ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಬಂದು ಸ್ಟೇ ಆಗ್ತಿದ್ದೇವೆ, ಮತ್ತು ನಮ್ಮ ರಿಲೇಟಿವ್ಸ್ ಬರ್ತಿದ್ರು. ಸೊ ಆವಾಗದಿಂದ ನಾವು ಅವರ ಹತ್ರವೇ ಮಾಡಿಸ್ತಿದ್ದೇವೆ ಮನೆಯಲ್ಲಿ. ಸೊ ಆವಾಗದಿಂದ ಅವರು ಅವರ ಮನೆಗೆ ಮಾಡುವ ರೀತಿಯಲ್ಲೇ ಮಾಡಿ ನಮಗೆ ತಂದು ಕೊಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ರು. ಸೊ ಅದನ್ನೇ ನಾವು ಕಂಟಿನ್ಯೂ ಮಾಡಿಕೊಂಡು ನಮ್ಮ ಉಡುಪಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ನಮ್ಮ ಮನೆಗೆ ಕೂಡ ಇಲ್ಲಿಂದಲೇ ಅವ್ರ ಹತ್ರ ನಾವು ಮಾಡಿಕೊಂಡು ಹೋಗ್ತೀವಿ. ರಾಜೇಶ್ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿ ಅವರ ಗಂಡ ಹೆಂಡತಿ ಸೇರಿ ಮಾಡೋದು ಮನೆಯಲ್ಲಿ.
Oh, wonderful. And I think that's such a great idea, right? You're also involving the local community. So you've built this place here, but you're also integrating the local community in what you do. And as a guest, you have access to the kind of food that's prepared in the local kitchens out here, like this anjal fry, anjal tawa fry. So good. And now for some of that bondas sukka. Plenty of coconut there, curry leaves, shallots, onions. That masala of that sukka. In fact, breakfast the first morning, I tasted a chicken sukka and I fell in love with that masala. There's a bit of sweetness in that apa, perhaps from the fermentation. And that contrasts so beautifully well with the spice of that sukka masala. That spice mix certainly has that chili bite. When you taste it the first time, it's warming. But as you taste a bit more, you can certainly feel that chili now sit on the tip of your tongue. So good. Prawn ghee roast masala. Oh, there's also some godambi that I see in there. Some cashew. ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಸ್ಲೈಟ್ ಸ್ವೀಟ್ನೆಸ್ ಕೂಡ ಇದೆ ಅಲ್ಲ ಅದರಲ್ಲಿ ಘೀ ರೋಸ್ಟ್ ಮಸಾಲೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ಜಾಗ್ರಿ ಹಾಕ್ತೀರಾ
ಜಾಗ್ರಿ ಹಾಕ್ತೇವೆ ಹುಳಿ ಹಾಕ್ತೇವೆ ಮತ್ತೆ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಖಾರ ಬರ್ಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಮೂರು ಟೇಸ್ಟ್ ಇದು ಕಾಂಬಿನೇಷನ್ ಮಾಡಿ ನಾವು ಘೀ ರೋಸ್ಟ್ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಲೋಕಲ್ ಸ್ಟೈಲ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಮಾಡ್ತೇವೆ
ವಂಡರ್ಫುಲ್ ಗೋಡಂಬಿ ಕೂಡ ಹಾಕ್ತೀರಾ
ಗೋಡಂಬಿ ಹಾಕ್ತೇವೆ
and how to mop up that ghee roast with the godambi the cashew safely in the folds of my appa. I like the balance in that masala. Very first taste you're tasting that sweetness. And then that's balanced quickly by the slight sour that comes from the hunse hannu, from the tamarind, and the heat of the red chilies. And I also like that slight supple crunch of the prawn. And next, let's move on to the uppu koli. Oh, it's liver, huh? I got a piece of the liver. I got lucky. I remember when we were kids, at home we would fight for this. ಒಂದು ಕೊಳ್ಳಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ಒಂದೇ ಲಿವರ್ ಬರೋದಲ್ಲ ಸೊ ನಾವು ಮೂರು ಅಣ್ಣ ತಮ್ಮ ಅವರು ಸೊ ಯಾರಿಗೆ ಯಾರ ಪಾಲಲ್ಲಿ ಇದು ಬರುತ್ತೆ ಒಂದು ಫೈಟ್ ಆಗ್ತಿತ್ತು. This time I got lucky. Sorry guys. A slight briny, gamey flavor of that chicken liver. The nati koli liver. So there's no spice mix in this. That's what I learned from Rajesh, who cooks this with his wife. All that I'm seeing, a flecks of onion, I can see some garlic there. There's probably some coriander there. And of course, when it comes to the nati koli, you have to have the skin because that's where the flavor of the chicken is. That's where the flavor of the bird is. Out here, the flavors are gentle. You're tasting the ingredients one by one. The bird, of course, has a bit of a bite because it's a nati koli. The flavor of the coriander shines through. And I think what they also do is they probably roast the bird a bit before they incorporate it in the curry. So I can also see a bit of a char on the skin of the bird here. Tasting a bit of the flavor of the garlic there. The slight sour twang that comes from tomato. Very nice. And lest the vegetarians feel left out, well, I also have some stew here.
ನಾವು ಚಿಕನ್ ಸ್ಟೂ ಹೇಗೆ ಮಾಡ್ತೇವೆ ಅದೇ ಥರ ವೆಜಿಟೇಬಲ್ ಸ್ಟೂ.
ಸೊ ವೆಜಿಟೇರಿಯನ್ಸ್ಗೆ ಕೂಡ ಆಪ್ಷನ್ಸ್ ಇದೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿ.
ಆಪ್ಷನ್ ಇದೆ.
ಸೊ ಇಟ್ಸ್ ನಾಟ್ ದಟ್ ಯು ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಟು ಬಿ ಓನ್ಲಿ ಅ ಸೀ ಫುಡ್ ಲವರ್ ಟು ಫೈಂಡ್ ಯುವರ್ ವೇ ಹಿಯರ್. You want to drench that roti in the saru. You want to make sure that it sits there for a few moments, soaking it in before you lend it a hand. I'm tasting the flavor of the wet masala. The coriander in that. I like the manner in which that roti has soaked up the gravy or the chicken curry, but still manages to retain its distinct character and crunch.
ಇದು ಟಾಡಿ.
Toddy.
ಫ್ರೆಶ್.
Saku. Oh, you got to get past its fermented aroma though. Oh, it is still sweet.
Still.
Yeah.
ಚೇಂಜ್ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಬಂದಿದೆ.
Yeah, but you can feel some of the sour notes emerge.
Yes.
And I guess if you keep it too long, so slowly the sugars get converted to alcohol.
ಇದನ್ನು ಆಕ್ಚುಲಿ ಬೆಳಿಗ್ಗೆ 9 o'clock 9:30 ಒಳಗೆ ಕುಡಿದ್ರೆ ತುಂಬಾ ಸ್ವೀಟ್ ಇರ್ತದೆ. ಆಲ್ಕೋಹಾಲ್ ಆಗಿ ಕನ್ವರ್ಟ್ ಆಗಿರೋದಿಲ್ಲ.
Oh, wonderful.
ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಫ್ರೆಶ್ ಮರದಿಂದ ತೆಗೆದು 1 hour 2 hour ಒಳಗೆ ನಾವು ಕುಡಿದಾಗಬೇಕು.
Even the sourness that I'm tasting in this is quite gentle. It's not the sort that's overbearing. It is still in that sweet sour territory. Actually quite nice. I've tasted toddy in some toddy shops in Kerala, and I must say it isn't something that I probably have a palate for, but this one is quite nice. Oh, sweet, the slightly sour, puckering sort of a taste. Another first for me out here in South Canada. This actually came in as the kallu, which is what is harvested early in the morning, but it's about 1:30 now, and so it's fermented a bit. But still very tasty. Well, like the saying goes, all good things must come to an end. And so has my stay here at the Island Bayview Inn in Thottam near Malpe. It's a hot, sunny South Canada morning here, and I'm sweating a bit, but I couldn't resist one last walk on the beach before I head back home. To be honest, when I came here, I wasn't really expecting much because it said the Island Bayview Inn, and I heard of the fact that they only had rooms, no restaurant, etc. And I was just wondering what it would be like. But then because I had work to do in Udupi, I said, let's try it. For me, the biggest draw was its location on the beach overlooking the Arabian Sea. But I must say that this is a property that has far exceeded my expectations. The manner in which the rooms have been outfitted, it's like the owners have built this for themselves and their family. Whether it's the fittings, whether it's the linen, the bed, the mattress. In fact, I've had one of the best sleeps the last 3 nights that I've been here. I've had difficulty waking up in the morning just because that bed doesn't want to let go of you. I've enjoyed my meals here thoroughly. I don't think a typical resort would have been able to serve up those punchy flavors, and I think that's where this property also scores. Yes, it's not a conventional hotel. You don't have in-room dining, you don't have people at your beck and call, or you don't have those spas and various other things. But sometimes you don't really need that, right? When you're on a trip like this, you're coming here to Malpe, you're coming here to Udupi, and you want to spend a couple of days. You've got some things that you've planned around. And this becomes a great place, a great base for you to stay. And even if you want to chill out, relax in the property the whole day, well, you're pretty much sorted. There's a pool, sea right there. They bring you whatever food you'd like to eat. Well, last but not the least, the tariffs. The deluxe rooms are priced around 15,000, but you do get deals on the various online platforms. I booked here through Visit Udupi. You already met Edward at lunch yesterday. I'm going to leave his details below and also the details of the Island Bayview Inn. I hope you enjoyed the stay with me. I'll see you on the next one. Bye. Oh, I forgot one thing. The views of the island, that's also what I would book this property for. The St. Mary's Island out there in the distance.